Hoo-ah! Hello, welcome. It is the 6th of January, Friday, and we are going to play some Twin Mirror today. Although, to be honest, I, for some reason, am very tired today, and I just would rather not do anything. But we are going to play this game, come hell or high water, because I've been putting it off. I put it off twice now, so yeah, gotta get it done. Anyways, welcome. Oh, God. I just ate like a paratha with a boiled egg on it because I had some boiled eggs that I need to use up. And I'm like, ugh, I hate having to eat sometimes. It's such a chore. Anyway, yeah, so I did have my interview today and it was fine, I guess. It was a little terrifying. They had the vice president, the vice president of the division that I would be working for was in it. In on the call, and I'm like, wow, terrifying. Love this. But overall I think it was okay, I think. And if I do get this job, I have a feeling it's going to be fairly stressful. And like especially like leading up to like the end of the year or whatever, then it's just going to be insane. So could make trying to organize my life interesting, but I did make it very clear to them that like work-life balance is extremely important to me. And while I will work overtime if I need to, that's not the norm. And I won't do that just out of the goodness of my own heart. Like if I realize that the project needs it, then sure. But I expect to be compensated appropriately or accordingly. So don't think that you're going to get like pay me like peanuts and expect this amount of work. Because, you know, what one thing that she said that I was like, was, and I've heard other people say this, they're like, yeah, you do everything that's in the job description, but we want somebody that's going to exceed that. I'm like, sure. But if you want somebody that's going to exceed that, you need to pay them commensurate to that effort, right? Like, I just feel like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with like going over and above, but they expect you to go over and above. But I'm always a firm believer in work what you're paid, and that's just kind of, so I was like, yeah, okay, sure. I'm going to do every single thing that is on the job description that I was given, and if you want me to work more than that, take on more, pay me more. Cool. Love that. Hey, it's a candidate's world, you know, so let me be clear that that's, you know, I said I'm a creative person outside of this job, so I expect that it's extremely important to me that you understand that at 4:30, I'm not doing anything more. I am leaving. And I mean, I figured if I'm not going to be, I've just spent a lot of my work life just being like, I'll do whatever. But now I'm like, no, I've already worked on my own for myself for 4 years, and I'm somehow made that fucking work. It's like, you know, I realize my worth now more than anything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, Alder, thank you. It did go well. So, Trav is here. Welcome, Trav. John is here. 702 is here. What's up? Mark is here. Welcome. Man is here. Hey, man. That's good. You were straightforward with them with your expectations. I feel like I'm past the point of, we got to resubscribe from Wyvern. Woo, 16 months. Thank you so much for being here. I feel like there's just no more space for not being straightforward. There's just, I like, I'm obviously not going to be like a complete bitch about it, but I'm also going to be like, yo, this is what I expect. And don't think that I'm going to like, I mean, of course, if I love the people that I work with, I'm more likely to bend over backwards for people. But like, you know what I'm saying? I realize that I don't have to do that anymore. It's not like, I don't know if I want to make a career out of this job. And I said that to her. I'm like, I'm not going to make a career out of this. That's for sure. Like, I want to love working in arts administration, but career? No. I mean, I have my things that I do outside of work that are the things that I would want to make a career out of. I didn't specify exactly what that is, but, you know. And I've said that in pretty much every interview that I've had since, like, this year. I'm like, I have other things that I do outside of this job that are more important to me. Period. Sorry. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. John says minimum wage equals minimum effort. I mean, this one is more than minimum wage, but like, it's like an entry level kind of position. I've never worked in arts administration before, but I have worked in administration before. So it's nothing obviously new to me, but there's not a lot of money in arts, of course. So I knew that going in. Robertex here. Welcome. Alder says, what if you get acting gigs or jobs or auditions? How would that work if you're in full-time employment? Well, currently I don't have an agent, so I'm not going to be getting any jobs unless casting directors contact me directly, which is very unlikely. So I'm almost like taking a little bit of a break from it until I find a new agent. And then, I mean, this is always the struggle with people that want to do acting. And that's why they always say you have to be independently wealthy to be a fucking actor or know somebody or whatever, because you have to work in order to live, but you need that money in order to further your acting career. So it's like the sick cycle that you can't get yourself out of. And I've just been tremendously lucky up until the end of last year where I've been able to make it work, but cannot do that anymore. And once I do get a new agent, it's going to be, I just have to be honest with them. Like, I need to keep full-time employment at least for like a year or more, to try and get back on my feet, because last year just destroyed me. So, it's going to be hard, certainly. And I feel like it's going to be a big turnoff for when I go to agents and say that, hey, I have a full-time job, but I'm hoping to do some acting gigs or whatever. They're going to say, well, come back to us when you can fully commit to it. So yeah, it's just a risk that I have to take at this point. And I mean, if I have to take some time off to kind of get back on my feet, then it is what it is. And also because I have the album coming out this year, like, and if I have no money coming from acting work, it's just not going to work, because I need that to like supplement Patreon, put Patreon together to make all of the plans that I have for this year happen. So there's sort of the reality of where I'm at. Wyvern says, I hope it's something you can do every day without wanting to blow the building up. Ugh. Well, you know how it is. Like, I mean, it's not something that, like I said, I want to make a career out of it. So it eventually will be something that I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is awful. And everybody's pulling you every which way, and they're expecting so much out of you. But I'm just going to be very, very honest with people this time around. Like, I'll just straight up say no instead, because before I'm like, I'll do whatever, No, straight up say no. And I wouldn't, now I don't feel nearly as afraid to just say, I'm not doing that. I'm just not. I don't feel comfortable doing it. And it has gotten me in so much shit before, just being like, yeah, okay, I'll totally do that. And then fucking up really, really badly. And then what? Right? And then they're like, why the fuck didn't you say anything? I'm like, well, you backed me into a corner and I didn't know what to do. So I said I would do it. And then, anyway, that happened multiple times in previous jobs. And I'm like, now I just have to be more forthcoming, I guess. But anyway, John says, I've only ever worked one minimum wage job in my life, and I did the square root of fuck all the entire time. Love that. Love it. 702 says, know your worth. Very so important. My God. And anything that you do in life, know your worth, because it's really not worth it in the end. 702 says, after 17 years in the dispatch field, I transferred into the IT department creating maps. Oh, that's interesting. So is that something that you had always wanted to do, or did it come up and you were like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'll change after 17 years of doing the same thing. I commend you. And I would never be able to do. I would need a little, yeah. John says, legit the easiest 3 months of my life. Seriously. Yeah, I have a tendency to complicate things needlessly. So even if a job was supposed to be easy, I sometimes will overthink it to the point of like absolute madness. So I did say that actually in all the interviews I've had. Not a top-down person. Sometimes I'm better in the weeds as opposed to like looking at the big picture. I need someone to big picture it and then tell me the little things that I need to do. So there's that. Melody says, feeling pooped from work. Happy Friday. Welcome. I want the interview went well. It went okay. Yeah. So who knows? Might be employed. I don't know. We'll find out next week. And even I've tried to look at the job listings today, and I'm like, no, I can't, there's just nothing in me that can go through 70 pages of these whatever. And then there were a couple of other like jobs that are in arts that are paying like $40,000 a year. I'm like, I'm sorry, but who can live off of that? Nobody. Nobody can live off of that. So it would be nice, but yeah. Wyvern says this is the longest I've been on a career path. Didn't unfortunately, it's the best paying job, but it's highly demanding on my time and my life. Yeah. 702 says, I wanted to get into the IT field for some time, but after dealing with coworkers who wanted to literally stop me from excelling, I actually took a pay cut, but got it back within 6 months. Well, that's awesome. That's exactly what you really, I mean, you just have to sometimes like rejig, like, okay, this isn't going to work, but we'll make it work so that I could get to where I want to be. And that's awesome. I'm glad that worked out for you. John's like, especially in a major city like Toronto, what the fuck? I know. It's, you can survive for sure. Surviving meaning that you never do anything. Like you go to work, you come home, you eat, and you go to sleep, and you do it all over again the next day. That's like 40,000. I wouldn't even say, I mean, that is maybe being generous. I was talking about this with my friend last week, and he's like, to actually live in this city, you need like 70 or more to live in the city, to be able to go out for dinner and, do the things that you like have a work-life balance. You need at least 70. I'm like, fuck. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just insane. Trav says, yeah, it's getting to the point where multiple income streams are needed. Also things like no kids, partner works also. For sure. I was saying to another friend that, if I do end up getting this job or any job, I'm always going to negotiate pay, because living by myself in a major, like a city like this, I pay the single tax. We've talked about the single tax before. The single tax is a real thing, that life is much easier if you have a partner. You're expected to have one and whatever. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. So if I'm going to be paying for everything by myself, you need to give me more money. You just do. I have student loans. I have all these things to pay. Like, come on, baby. Let's do this. And yeah, there's going to be multiple income streams, fine, but I have a lot of things that are happening. I have like a production company, I have my music, I have the acting thing. There's a lot of things going on, and they needs to be funded somehow, right? And I'm not the type of person that will give 1,000% at work and come home and come home and eat and then go to sleep and then go do it again the next day. Absolutely no, it's not going to work. That is not what I'm hoping to do over this next year. Not an option. John says, fuck that. There's no way to live. I'd rather throw myself in front of a bus. I know it's a very sad existence, but unfortunately it's a reality for a lot of people that live in this city, and unless you have multiple streams of income, or I don't know, you don't pay the single tax. 702 says, plus my new boss understood, so he's making sure that I got promoted within the next 6 months. Fuck yeah. Oh, good to have somebody on your side for sure. Alder says, I was always told work to live, not live to work. Oh yeah, for sure. Melody says, I've seen Toronto housing prices drop a bit. Word is it'll slump further this year. I could only hope. I know they always say that. They're always like, it's gonna drop. It's gonna drop. It's never. I'm still kicking myself over the fact that my parents wanted to buy a like a 2-story like a townhouse in Liberty Village, back in 2008. They were thinking about doing that to like have here. And it didn't, I don't know what happened, why they ended up not doing that. Either they bought something else somewhere else. I don't know. At the time, I didn't even ask questions. And I'm like, I will totally live in it. I'll get roommates. Like, it's fine. And they never did. And it was like 270 grand for that place. Which, fuck my life. Yeah. But yeah, that's the way it goes. It's the way she goes. Wyvern says, I want to just have a place of my own and I can't afford it even making the most money I've ever made. Yeah. I feel that's a reality for a lot of people. That, I mean, I'm very fortunate that I live, I mean, even though I literally live in a cave in a hobbit hole in the ground, I think my lucky stars every day that I found this place coming from where I came from, that I only have to share it with two other people or share the whole space with two other people. And like, if you have to have roommates in your 40s, it's not fun. It's not fun. I mean, not having roommates at any age is fun, but it depends. They have to be pretty fucking awesome roommates. And for the most part, I've had pretty good roommates, but you know. Melody says, "Ooh, West End is poppin'. Lol, so many condos now. I'm torn between West or East End downtown. I'm scouting for a place this year, economy willing. I mean, I'm always looking, even though I know that I will never be able to afford it. Just sort of the name of the game, unless something really amazing happens. But for the longest time, I was looking like in the East End as well, but I'm a huge fan of the West. And when I first moved to Toronto in 2008, I lived in the West End and I absolutely loved it. I've lived in the East End, but in like a bougie area with a lady who wasn't like bougie by any means. She was just like a business owner. It's the first place I lived in when I moved here. When I moved here for the second time. And I was like, I need to have more money to live here. Like, there was nothing. And everybody was, had kids and had single family homes, and it was not. The West End is where it's at, in my opinion. But then I had a woman that I worked with who lived in Leslieville, which is like in the eastern part of Toronto. And she's just like, it's amazing. It's so great. You should totally. I'm like, yeah. But she had a partner, and her partner, they both made combined like 250 grand a year. So yeah, I'm like, you don't have to pay the single tax. I do. So I can't go out and willy nilly all the time. 702 says, is the major cities in Canada a little bit more expensive than the major cities in the US? I can tell you that I think Toronto is in the top 20 most expensive cities in the world. New York being like, I think number one, but it's always like New York, Sydney is always on there. Singapore is on there. Like, of all of those, they're super expensive, in San Francisco. So it's about the same as, say, Sydney or something like that. In Vancouver is also, I guess, more expensive than here, but I don't know. My brother lives there. He's making it. So 702 says single tax. Single tax is like what I don't know if that's actually a term, but I feel like as a person that doesn't have a partner, I feel like I have to, well, obviously I have to pay more for everything because I can't split it with somebody. So that's the single tax. If you're, uncoupled, then that's the life that you live. You pay full price for everything. And as a woman too, when there isn't necessarily income parity, like equal income, then it's even harder. And they're like, well, spinster, huh? Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, Wyvern explained it. Toronto's basically on par now. Yeah, it's expensive each way you, each way you slice it. Each way you slice it, and I don't. I come from a city that isn't necessarily big, but not small, and that city now is almost as expensive as Toronto. It's wild, and I don't understand why, because London, Ontario is a hole. It is a hole. But, you know, it is what it is. So even as like, even if you go, even if I were to go back home, I would still be facing the same issue. That was the reason why I moved to Hamilton, Ontario, which is also a fucking butthole of a city. I mean, it had some good points, but most of it was a big, hairy butthole. Because it was actually cheaper than moving to London, which fucking blows my mind when I think about that. But yeah. Wyvern says, you could be married to me. Well, it's not going to happen, but I wouldn't say it's worse, but I don't know you. So, Trav says, yeah, coming from a small town, I can't believe how much it is in the city. It blows my mind that, like, people, when I see some of the houses, like the costs of houses in the US, it's fucking wild. I'm like, you can buy a house for like 20, I don't even know, 100 grand or something, and it's amazing. That in Canada is it, you could move up north, maybe, but you may not have running water all the time because it's so fucking cold. Like, it just blows my mind that that's even an option for people my age. Now, I don't know if that's a blanket statement for all of the US, but I sometimes go on there just to like look, and literally in the middle of friggin' nowhere, like, I don't know, like somewhere in Ohio or whatever, and I see these beautiful homes that are just kind of sitting there, and it costs nothing. That's just so crazy. So crazy to me. And Melody saying, you can't imagine. I mean, I'm the same. I mean, if I want to live somewhere else, I'm like, okay, I would love to live in Copenhagen again, but Copenhagen is even more expensive than this place, so can't win. God is here. Welcome, God. What's the rep on Mississauga? Dated a girl from there once, and the only thing to do was to go to IKEA that she lived by. I mean, or go to the airport and hang out there. I can't even say I've ever been to Mississauga proper. I've only been to the airport, so I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. 702 says, I'm thankful to live in Vegas. Yeah. Don't know if I'd want to live in Vegas personally, but I know some people that really like it. They have like own homes there and whatever. And I'm like, must be nice, but I'm good. Wouldn't be a fan of the weather, to be honest. John says, I can't imagine living anywhere else either, but God knows I need to get off this hell island ASAP. Yeah, I agree. Melody says, Pearson, the #1 airport in the world. That's funny. Oh, weren't they ranked the worst for a while? And then they were, yeah. Then again, they also said that the TTC was #1 in the world, which I'm like, that's a bold-faced lie, but sure. I saw a TikTok today of a woman, and she was like, women of Toronto, be very, very careful. I was walking outside of Yonge Station. Yonge Station is like a hub station where two major lines intersect. She's coming out of the station, and she saw this guy like walking intently, and she was like, I made the mistake of making eye contact with him, and he followed me, and she knew something was going to happen. She knew some sort of like altercation was going to occur. he came up and he punched her in the scapula, which isn't funny, but at the same time, like, she didn't know what happened, and she like looked around like, what the hell was that? And he was like screaming at her, calling her all sorts of names for no reason, but he punched her in the shoulder for no reason. And those kinds of unprovoked attacks are on the rise here in Toronto. So she was just saying, like, my first instinct was to turn, and I had my phone in my hand and I took a picture of him. And she posted the picture like, this is the guy that punched me. I went to the cops, told them about it. They're not going to fucking do anything. I'm like, great. Love this. Never leaving my house. Awesome. We love to hear about random punchings. That's amazing. But yeah, so that's my city. God says, I live in Vegas too. Best move I've ever made. Though it's getting expensive out here too. Everyone from Cali moved here and ruined it. That's pretty much what everybody says about like any city, like Torontonians, people from Toronto moving out. Hey Skull, moving out from to other smaller towns, and they're like, oh, the people from Toronto move here and made it expensive. I'm like, shitty, shitty. They'll come for you. They will. I didn't fill this up again. Hey, River. Wyvern says, I like Salt Lake City. It sucks sometimes because of the Mormon-run state and the expensive living. Yeah. I don't even know if there is, besides New York, I think I'd probably live in New York City, but I would never live in any other city in the U.S. But I think it's just because it's so close to Toronto in like vibe, that New York felt very much a lateral move for me. I mean, obviously bigger, but it's the only place in the U.S. that I would live. No offense to Floridians, but I would never live in Florida. The weather, cannot deal with that weather. Pretty much anything like south of Chicago, I would never. I can deal with Illinois cold, but I just can't handle the southern weather. It's not for me. 702 says, I lived in Vancouver back in the early 90s for 4 months. Did bodyguard work there. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. I can't say if I remember going to Salt Lake City, to be honest. I probably have, but I don't remember it. Melody says, smoking like a true Canadian. I mean, I've become so accustomed to our weather and the way that it, especially living in the belt that I grew up in, which was the snow belt, and we got all the snow all the time, and it was always bitterly cold and whatever. And then I lived up in Eastern Ontario where it's ice storms and whatever all the time. Didn't go, like, it's getting close to Ottawa, so Ottawa has its own special breed of weather. But I would not be able to live in hot weather all year round. I literally cannot. Look, you see how many frigging hoodies and sweaters I have? No. And I love them. I love all of my hoodies and all of my sweaters. I've literally very little summer clothes. Reverend says, I would love to move to Canada, but I don't think I could actually afford to live there. Yeah. Seriously, it's so expensive. It's crazy expensive. And I also had said that I would love to live in New Zealand. No. And then when people told me the prices, I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Although actually, not related, not the same country anyways. I was looking on the job board and they're hiring it was so strange. A restaurant in the Gold Coast, or on the Gold Coast in Australia, is hiring people, and they needed 16. They had 16 positions hiring in Gold Coast in Australia, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they trying to get Canadians to? So it's part of the working holiday program, so that's why. But I was like, I'm actually too old for that program because it is 18 to 35. So, like, damn. Would I move to Australia just randomly? Join the poisonous spiders and snakes? I've heard good things. I had a friend that lived in Surfer's Paradise and loved it. But pretty much all of my female friends that have moved to Australia never came back. They weren't dead or anything, but they ended up marrying an Australian person. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'll stay here. Don't want to end up married. Gross. 702 says, yeah, I couldn't do the Midwest to East Coast. Too cold for me. The South is just too humid for me. Yeah, I can't. The humidity is just a no. Big no. John says, aren't those working holiday things a giant scam? I've heard some horror stories. Okay, the dealio on working holidays, if you're doing it through a company, I have no idea how it works. There were a few companies that would set them up, especially to the UK and to Australia. I went through all of their documentation, and that you pay a certain amount and they'll take care of all the paperwork and blah, 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 blah. But everybody from Canada ended up doing the same thing and going to the UK or going to Australia or New Zealand. More so Australia and the UK because it's English speaking. And I can't remember the main company that does them, that sets it up all for you. And so I can't speak for those being a scam necessarily. But I did the working holiday to Denmark and I did it all on my own and it was perfectly fine and 100% worth it. I was going to do originally the UK and that didn't work out because I was like, I'll just do it by myself. I don't need to pay a fucking company to do it. That's stupid. But yeah, I ended up not going to the UK, and I tried to go to the Netherlands, and the Netherlands was like the requirements were just maddening. I'm like, oh my God, fucking paperwork. This is insane. So that didn't end up working out. Germany's was a little bit more lax, but they required you to have like amazing amount of health insurance or something. I can't remember exactly what it was that deterred me from going to Germany, but it didn't work out. So then I did Denmark, and Denmark was super easy. Got my visa super quickly, and I was able to work there. It was great, super easy. I mean, finding an apartment, not easy, but so I wouldn't say it's a blanket that it's a scam. But if you're going through like a company, and the name escapes me, like the major company that does all those working holidays, they do them in the UK, Australia, South America. I don't know, because I was obsessed for the longest time with doing like go global stuff where you could either be part of a developmental project where you build schools or you teach English, or I was obsessed. I was trying to find and collect all this information in order to move to another country because I just wanted to get out of Canada so badly. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, there's a lot of like opportunities for you to move abroad if you're young. If you're old, forget it. They're like, we don't want old people. Just stay there. You should be established by now. What's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. Kim Possible, welcome, says, I'm in Brisbane. Australia is amazing. I mean, I have family in Australia. I could easily just go visit, but I just haven't done it yet. I also went to school when I went to school in Denmark, I had friends of mine who are Aussies and they were amazing to party with. Wow. Loved it. Loved partying with them. They were just amazing people. Haven't spoken to them in years, but one of them I still talk to. She lives in Canberra, but yeah, big fan, the Aussies. Trav says, I'm content living here and just visiting big cities on vacation. I get to enjoy them without selling everything I own. See? I like that. I don't know if I could do it, but I like that outlook for you. Rover says, not just poisonous spiders, but huge ones. I know. Oh, I don't know how you do it. Trav says, I feel like Australia is my speed. Work hard, play hard vibes to me. Yeah, I get that feeling. I get that feeling too. John says, yeah, don't come to the UK. There's nothing of value. Oh, yeah, I know. The reason why I wanted to go was for school, but I learned fairly quickly that, well, yeah, I've told the story that, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the UK in general. It's, yeah. What a butthole. Sorry. Some of the people are darling, of course. Man says, the part of the South U.S. I live at has terrible weather throughout the year. Only perk is that the cost of living is so low, but nothing fun to do around here. Yeah. I can't. Like, you have to drive. I'm assuming you have to drive a fair amount to get to a large city, right? Like a big city in the South to find something to do. The distances, like, I don't think people in Europe understand the distances in the US driving around. It's fucking wild. And then when you're driving from one place to another, I'm not even talking about Canada where there's no developing whatsoever. It's just a road in the prairies and there's nothing on either side. It's absolutely mind-boggling that people, choose to live in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not mind-boggling to them, but it is to me. Being a city girl. I wouldn't be able to do it. I couldn't. I need things to do. 702 says, I would like to move overseas, preferably Australia or New Zealand. UK would be my next choice. Yeah. I mean, New Zealand would be number one for me. I would absolutely love to live there because of being a hobbit. Yeah. John says, unless you're coming here to drop a nuke, then please, by all means. Then Alder says, that's harsh on the UK. I'm sure there's worse places to live. I mean, I have family in the north part of England, so I'm not going to be doing that, John. Sorry. I love my family too much. But yeah, I wouldn't, for my cousins who live there, they used to live in South Africa. Now they live in the UK. And to them, it's like amazing in comparison, which I totally get. I don't know how it wouldn't, it's not for me. I'll say that. It's just not for me. Trav says, I once heard Americans think 100 years is a long time and Europeans think 100 miles is far away. I heard also that we, North Americans specifically, reckon distance in time. And Europeans do it differently. They do it by distance. So when you ask somebody, how far away is Toronto from London, Ontario? If you ask a European that, they'll I don't know if this is actually true, but I do think that North Americans definitely say, the first thing that we'll say is, oh, it's 2 hours away. I don't know if that's, I just noticed that recently that I'm like, whenever I reckon something, I reckon it in time as opposed to distance, which, like, oh, how far is it from your house? Oh, it's like 5 minutes from my house. Whatever that means. The distance that you take walking or whatever is 5 minutes from my house. I don't know. Is it different in Europe or in other places of the world? Or is that just a universal thing that I think is a Canadian or North American thing, but it's not? Morris is here. Welcome. Morris never leaves the house except to go to work and clean up poop in the fitting room. Amazing. Lucas, welcome. You saying it's true? Yeah, okay. So that's what I thought. Because it's like, it's interesting that we default to that if somebody's asking for directions, can you tell me how I go? You're gonna walk 5 minutes this way, and you'll get to the intersection that you need. You turn left, and then it's another like 10-minute walk, which, yeah, I don't know. John says, well, we do the same here. Like, I always think that London is around 4 hours away rather than the actual distance. 702 says, yep, LA and Phoenix is a 4-hour drive. Then again, if I drive, I'm getting there in less than 4. Alder says, UK people say time. I wonder if that is a remnant from you guys that we've just brought over, is that it's time thing. But anybody else from like mainland Europe? Trav says, yeah, I usually say how far in time. That's usually what people want to know when getting from point A to point B. But I guess it could depend on who you're talking to, right? I'm seeing if there's anybody that can confirm my theory. Morris says, same, the time first, and even that I try to make sound better than it is. It can be an hour away, or I'll just say 30 minutes. Okay, note to self, never ask Morris for directions ever. Yeah. Well, I mean, I do know the distance. If you are saying how far is it, Toronto from London, Ontario, it's about 220 kilometers. I know that for sure. Ish. From the area that I'm from, just kind of outside of London, but yeah, it's 221 kilometers, but that doesn't really help because people don't really know the time that it takes to travel a kilometer. Yeah. Yeah. How long does it take? Yeah. Like a minute? Driving is a minute? Because I know that it's a 2-hour drive. It's 2 hour and change. But I know that when it says that a place is 100 kilometers away, it'll take you 50 minutes to drive that at 120 kilometers an hour. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just one of those things that I was thinking about. Like, why is it that we do that? Why is it always reckoned in time and not a distance? Anyway. Oh, yeah, there's a game that we're supposed to be playing, and I've been talking for an hour. Lucas says, but the problem with time is that it depends on traffic. Absolutely. And especially in a super busy city like there I live. It takes 3 hours, actually, to get from my hometown to here. If you're going on and anywhere near rush hour, forget it. It's 3 hours. God says, listening to the new Drake, it's cute when he does a Jamaican accent. I think he is half Jamaican, isn't he? Or half something? I don't know. 702 says, London, Ontario is not far from Detroit. It isn't. You're correct. Yeah. Morris says, same. I don't know either. I haven't heard kilometers in forever. Well, that's because you live in the U.S. 702 says, yeah, aren't you supposed to be playing a game? I know. I don't, I'm like incredibly out of it today. I expended all of my mental energy on that interview, and I'm just like a blob now. And I've been also watching, at the behest of a friend of mine, I've been rewatching Star Trek: The Next Generation. And the first season is really rough. And I've actually seen all of them but once through. So this is the second time it's the second time that I've watched it, and I'm like, oh. About the episode where Tasha Yar has been kidnapped by that man, like this like warring country planet or whatever, and they're looking, they're trying to get this vaccine, and then she gets kidnapped, and Tasha Yar has to fight this woman to the. It's fucking wild, man. I'm like, this is the greatest show ever, and it came out in 1993. We love that. And yes, Travis saying beardless Riker is my favorite Riker personally. And I was going to start an Instagram account about out of context beardless Riker. So it was just going to be screenshots of him saying things that were like borderline thirsty, and yeah. Love that. Cuz there's one picture that I got of him like squeezing a peach. He's like, looks juicy. Or something I can't remember exactly what he says, but he has like this really like lecherous face on, and he's squeezing this peach. I'm like, oh, it's so good. Anyway, I should really make that Instagram account. I've been wanting to for a long time. Lucas says TNG rules, but season 1 is barely 3 out of 10. Season 2 is 5 out of 10. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy the cheese. Give me more cheese, and I'm here for it. I find myself laughing at it more than anything. And then like I think it was the second episode, they like, I don't know, I may be ruining it for some people, but like Tasha Yar sleeps with Data. I'm like, what is happening? I don't remember this when I watched it for the first time. Clearly I wasn't paying attention, but I'm like, what? Come on. Love that. She's like, you have all the parts, right? Oh, and he's getting all like super clinical about it. I'm like, oh, God, I love Data. Morris says Next Gen is the one series I'm behind on. I've seen it in reruns, Voyager and Enterprise though. Voyager was actually the first one I watched, and I loved Voyager. My brother and I would come home from school and watch it every single day. It was amazing. I never watched Enterprise, but Voyager, and then we watched Deep Space Nine after that. And then I only recently, within like the last couple of years, watched TNG all the way through. And clearly didn't remember much of it because I didn't remember I'm like, a date? What? Oh, man. 702 says before Yar got killed by the tar dude. I remember that. I remember that episode. I'm like, did they just... Okay, what happened? Alder says I'm halfway through season 2 of my X-Files rewatch. You need to watch faster, bro. It was between watching X-Files and watching TNG, and I chose TNG because I actually don't have, like, I have X-Files on DVD, and I had to change the DVDs, and I didn't want to have to do that. But so I chose TNG because I want to fall asleep to it. Yeah. But you're making progress. You have 8 more to go. Or, well, no, technically 9 more to go if you include season 10 and 11. Morris says the new show with Pike is good. 702 says I'm a James T. Kirk Star Trek person. I've never seen the original, and I have no desire to, unfortunately. Lucas says Data nailed it in like first episode. It was the first or second episode. I don't even remember, but I just remember being like floored by that, where Tasha's all dressed all sexily, and it's very bizarre. 702 says I used to watch the original with my pops. Oh, that's cool. Nice little bonding. I feel like any Star Trek fan should watch the original, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can do it. Maybe I'll switch to X-Files at some point. It's just really annoying because the DVD, there are, I think, only on some of them maybe 3 episodes per DVD. So, and it doesn't play it continuously. It stops after every single one. So you have to, it's so annoying that they don't have the option to just play all the episodes all the way through. But anyway, they didn't think that far ahead. So. 76. Yeah, Kirk was that guy. All right, let's play at least like an hour of this game. Let's see. Can't hear anything. And I don't know why. It's weird. It's very low. Okay, well, let me know if it needs to be put higher. But for me, it's very low. I don't know. Maybe I need to do it in the actual game itself. Privacy policy? Sure. Oh yeah, you can't see me, can you? Now you can. Am I missing something? Now, this... Apparently, this is very much like the Quarry kind of style. So we'll see. Alder says, wow, that's a lot of DVDs. There's like 30 episodes a season. I know. That's why it's an investment to actually sit and watch it with the DVDs, because it takes for fucking ever. You have to put them in, and it's... Yeah, anyway. Jean-Luc is a nice dude, but can get pretentious, which is why I never got into Next Gen fully. But Data. That's funny that you think that. Is this supposed to be like Twin Peaks, says Trav? I have no idea, actually. This was a recommendation from SoCal. I had it actually on my list already, but I just never played it. And now I have no clue. We are really experiencing it together for the first time.
The skies are finally clearing up after a light rainfall most of the afternoon. The weather's approaching 49 degrees. So
49 degrees?
Ahead of us.
Yeehaw!
Settle in, folks. This is 104.3 WBCK, the Basswood Sound. I'm your host, Carrie Hammond. Coming up after a short break, mental health expert Dr. Wick will discuss the recent opioid epidemic that's been affecting...
Someone's gonna get killed! Hey, Solus.
days
Welcome.
don't weigh the same.
Ooh, there's a home for me.
I change my clothes
Hey,
and
Clickando.
wash my does the well go down?
Yeah, that always bothered me about the fact that Jean-Luc Picard is supposed to be from France, but he has this like very
Let me
obviously
be my
British accent.
I knelt down in desperation. I felt around for something.
Trav says, heavens to Betsy. I was just looking at my chat log from the NYE event and cringe. Formally apologize.
Playing wrong in my ear. You keep coming alive, keep coming alive, keep coming alive, keep coming alive. You keep coming alive, keep coming alive, keep coming
Solus
alive.
says that Twin Mirrors is kind of like Beyond Two Souls. Oh yeah, we've played that. That was we played that 3 years ago now. Okay, so guy driving. He's supposed to go to a wake, and I wasn't paying attention to what he said. Jason!
Time to kill before the funeral. Might as well spend it here.
Jason!
This place was always one for decisions. Somewhere for things to fall apart.
Jason!
Welcome back to Basswood, Sam.
Jason! Ooh, it's very laggy.
I came up here every chance I could. One of the all-time great views. Really makes a small town look big.
John, yeah, we played that a while ago on PS4. View of Basswood. Founded in 1865, this small mining town grew quickly along the coal industry. Along with the coal industry at its peak, Basswood, I guess, produced more coal than any other town in West Virginia, with the Basswood mine being one of the most consistent coal mines in the U.S. Ruined. Basswood is a wonderful place to simply let nature be nature outside the Appalachian Trail with its hundreds of miles of hiking trails, blah de blah.
I'm not sure Nick would even want me at his funeral, given how I left things.
How did you leave things?
I remember spending entire summers on the banks fishing with Nick. My hometown. It felt more imposing in my nightmares.
Basswood
Strange to
Mine.
think of Basswood without its mine.
John says, Heavy Rain is low-key the funniest game ever made. I agree. I very much enjoyed it. Did I absolutely despise which? Hey, Oliver. Beyond Two Souls? I liked it. You just hate everything, John.
You'd think the massive cliff face would be a giveaway.
Oh, it's a bear.
I left a sandwich in it for a whole week once. Dad never let me forget it.
What is the point of this game? What am I supposed to be doing?
I used to love looking at Basswood from up here. helped give me perspective. Until that day,
Ooh, a spyglass. Wait, what? Ah! These nice eyelashes.
why can't the real world be as clear and peaceful as my own mind?
What is happening? Optimal shot angles? David Cage just like to smell his own farts.
Even if it does.
Well,
mean
you guys know
nothing
how
stays
I feel
hidden
about
in here.
Detroit Become Human. I love that
Not
game.
even me.
Oh. This is trippy, man. This is like super trippy. Oh my god. Whoa, man. What the hell is happening? Oh, is this Nate?
I've been meaning to ask you something. Don't freak out. Would you be my little girl's godfather?
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't trust anyone else with this.
And yet I stopped taking his calls. He even called once the day before he died. I'll never know what he wanted to talk to me about.
He's banging your woman, man. This is really interesting.
This is Anna. She works freelance. Does a lot of the human interest pieces.
What can I say? I'm interested in humans and their pieces.
What?
What do you like to write?
I gotta run to
Oh,
a
thank you
review
for the
at
follow,
one. You two feel free to
Mephistos.
chit-chat. And Sam, be nice.
I had never met someone so interested in others, even in me.
Okay. Is that my lady? It's the... Is that my... Yeah, it's my lady, I think.
The story is important. You know I think that. It's just... People around here have short tempers and long memories. Be careful. Sam, are you even listening to me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I heard you, Anna. But no, I wasn't listening.
Typical. Can I walk over here? Who doesn't have an ass? This guy?
Look at this.
What is it? Someone skinny dipping?
Oh, he proposed!
see this.
Oh my god!
I
She's
can't
like,
even see.
Whatever.
Something's
I don't want
blocking
your stupid engagement ring. I'm gonna throw it over this.
it. Sam, what are you doing?
Marry me, baby.
Be romantic.
Oh.
What? Wait.
Oh no!
Proposing.
Oh no!
Down on
Oh,
one
the
knee,
cringe.
a ring? What else would I be doing?
Oh. Oh no!
You look like I just ran over your grandma. Okay, the silence is really starting to scare me now. Anna, please say something.
Sam, put that away. Come on. I don't want a ring. I don't need a ring. You should know that. We've discussed it before.
Uh-oh. Didn't listen to her. See? Sam, tisk tisk. Just like a man never listens. Sam, you got some,
We weren't happy. She was the one brave enough to face that. Lost in my head again. How much time did I miss?
You're really not going to show? Oh, I got lost in my, Hey, SoCal. I got lost in my, I decided to take a walk on the promontory before Nick's funeral. I thought I wasn't ready to face Basswood again, but the past is already pulling me back in. My memories are so vivid, it's as if I'd never left. Okay. Anna, the one that got away. Would my whole life be different had she said yes? Seeing her again, that's going to be hard. Yet part of me is looking forward to it. The rest of me wants to turn around and leave now. Oh, Anna Miller. So this is the guy that died? And who's this? That's me. I worked at a town full of angry people in a failed relationship. I didn't glance back. Now I'm going home to attend my best friend's funeral. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Back. Oops.
I missed the funeral. Maybe it's for the best. On the bright side, Nick's
guy's-
not alive for me
Sam's
to let
kind
him
of a
down again.
dick. He's like, yeah, whatever. I miss my friends. Don't care.
There seems to be something here.
Oh. Oh, no.
Lovers scarring a tree to write down their initials. Always seems twisted to me.
Yeah, because you don't know how to love, Sam.
I get the feeling it still sees some use, given how bad the coverage is up here.
Sam's packing.
Sorry, Walter, but I don't think I'll stick around. Giving up already? Just a quick, depressing jaunt down memory lane and then you're gone?
Who are you
I
talking
know
to?
you think that the only thing waiting for you down there is hurt. Lots of hurt. And you might be right. But it's been 2 years. It's time to face the world.
Oh,
Time
no.
to
Does he have, like,
adult.
DID or something?
The good news, though, at least you don't have to do it alone.
Okay. That was an interesting introduction. Got stuck in traffic. Almost there. Ah, no, I'm
Lost
being
the signal.
circled by the vultures.
Some things never change.
Okay. John says, why do I get Silent Hill 2 vibes from this just a little bit? Yeah, it kind of has that kind of slow, ominous pace to it. I feel you on that. Ugh, I'm in pain. Nondescript car. Love to see it. Oh! Joan Bug Valdrin, Nick's daughter. Who names their kid Joan? Ooh, lighting is
Really?
gorgeous.
You actually came.
It's been a while. You've gotten taller.
Can we talk?
We're talking right now.
It's cold.
She looks like a giant baby. Wait, what? Hello?
So,
You left.
Joan, that's not fair.
You left.
She kind of looks like Chucky. Look at her face. She's Chucky. I'm sorry.
Look, Joan, I messed up.
You said you wouldn't leave. You said... I don't remember exactly, but you pinky swore.
I didn't mean to lie. I just screwed up. After Anna broke up with me, I'm sorry. I wish words meant anything. I wish this didn't make it harder for you to trust me now.
You could have at least called something, especially after... You know,
Did her dad kill...
after my dad.
I don't know what to say to that. You're right. I wasn't in a state where I could reach out to anyone.
It's Chucky.
I'm still not. If Nick hadn't died, I never would have come back.
Thanks for being honest. You're always at least honest.
Okay, this light is really bothering me.
Listen, I wanted to talk to you about what happened to Dad. It doesn't make sense. He wouldn't have just crashed. He drove like a grandma, you know that.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I don't buy it.
I'm just in town for the funeral, Joan. I'm not a PI or a cop.
You're the closest thing I can talk to. Will you just look into it, Muley? Please?
Muley?
She wants her father's death to mean something.
Oh, God.
But where does that lead?
It's my other personality.
What if it leads to the truth? That could change everything.
An hour ago, you wanted to run away. Now you want to start another investigation?
A few questions won't hurt anyone.
Or maybe he's schizophrenic.
Just tonight. To reassure her. And myself.
This is a wake. If you poke around, people may end up poking back. Okay, whatever you do, at least leave the kid out of it. It would be cruel to lead her on,
Friends don't lie to each other.
even if it means disappointing her again.
Yeah, you got to think about that one, Sam.
It's your call.
You know what? Do I keep her out of it or promise to look into it? He says that people are going to look, poke back. I mean, sure. I gotta do it for Chucky. Yeah.
Okay. I'll see what I can see and all that. Gumshoe it up.
You will?
You make some good points. It doesn't fit. I hate when things don't fit.
Yeah, me too. I might just be, I don't know, crazy or something, but
You want to know for sure. I get it.
thanks, Muley. I should go in before my mom misses me. You better get in there too. Can't hide in your car all night.
Who says I'm hiding out here?
I do.
What a weird
See
relationship.
you inside.
SoCal says if you want to do maximum damage, you make promises. Thankfully, I'm good at that. Maybe. What did his friend... Journal updated. Everyone knows Nick and I are best friends. Everyone thinks I owe it to him to be here. His daughter, Joan, goes even further. She thinks I should stay here to investigate her father's death. Our old boss, Walter, is sure to have something to say, too. I won't be able to sneak past him. Go inside the bar. Of all the people I hurt when I left Basswood, Joan is the one who least deserved it. She was just a kid and my goddaughter. Angry, stubborn, blah, blah, blah. Love how he calls her Bug. I'm going to face it. Sammy Higgs. But she calls me Muley, and I don't know why she calls me Muley. But what's my stats? Cold feet. What the hell?
Might as well talk to Walter. I'll have to sooner or later.
Yes. The cat
Walter!
food is under the sink. Yes, yes, it is, Mother.
I want to
Trust me.
smack that belly.
Oh, Samuel is here. I'll call you back. Samuel Higgs, as I live and breathe. Has it really been over 2 years? Regardless, I'm so glad you finally made it. It's good to see you. What kept you?
A trip down memory lane. I missed the funeral, but I made it to Nick's wake.
You have to bring it in for a hug.
I mean,
Basswood back in town requirement. So good to see you.
yeah, sure.
Even if I wish the circumstances were different.
I'll hug you.
In times like these, we need the comforting
He looks like a
touch of
huggable
others.
dude.
At least I do.
Aw. Sorry, I can't stop looking at his pants.
Also, have you spoken to Anna lately?
No, why?
No reason.
He's wearing tight pants for a reason. Dudes
If
do
you get
that.
the
I
chance,
know
we
y'all
should
do
catch
that.
up. We should really catch up. I'll see you inside.
Okay. What? Anything about Mr. Walter? The old Joker? He looks like a jolly man.
I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, well, you have to do it, Sam. You fucked up, bud.
Here we go.
You fucked up good. Wow, it's a real happening bar.
Mr. Samuel Higgs.
Uh-oh.
Big shot investigative reporter.
It's the first.
Didn't think you'd ever be back in here.
I'd gladly slash your tires. But that mean you couldn't leave town. And you are.
Let it slide!
Just really embracing those hick stereotypes, huh, Joel?
Yeah, that's right. Come here, little hick boy. You want to fight me? I'm taller than you.
We get you good old boys another round.
Mighty kind of you, Declan. You're not worth it, Higgs.
Yeah, right.
Making friends already, I see.
Declan, been a while.
Hey, careful. I'd rather not be working tonight. And you always seem to angry up everyone's blood.
Well, he started it.
Joel started it. I was just standing here.
Well, he started it, and if you push him, he'll finish it. You watch yourself.
Do you see this angry white man in front of you? I will lay him down.
I think it's time I go put up a photo at the memorial board. That's what people do, right?
Can I fight these dudes? Because I would really like to do that. I haven't played a game like this in a while.
That's where Nick and I sat every time he dragged me out for drinks after work.
Oh, hi.
Oh, it's been ages.
Are you a teacher?
Kara?
Oh, me? I've had this stomach thing lately, always churning. And this thing with
I've been
Nick,
taking the biggest
talking about
shits
like
lately.
a funny
Can I
hand.
tell you
He
about
burned
it?
alive, you know. Have you met Hugh? He took over the old pharmacy just after you left.
No.
The infamous Sam. I read that
Him and I are
article you wrote
banging.
on the mine. You must have put in a lot of legwork on that.
Oh, you read it. What do you think?
Of the writing? Fine. Fine. Of the reporting? Something that needed to be done. Many medicines are a bitter brew, but you still need to take them.
That's nice of you to say.
Oh, don't hesitate to drop by the pharmacy sometime.
Oh, and Sam, you...
But for now, I have a feeling you're not here for us.
Oh, right. Don't be a stranger, Sam.
Bye. Don't talk about your shits to me anymore. Thank you. Okay, so there's Kathy. Who's Kathy? Kathy's the mom?
There was no love lost between Kathy and Nick
Oh,
since their divorce. But
Father,
anyone
mother.
can see she's taking his death hard.
Kathy. Oh, she's going to be like, why the fuck did
Kathy,
you miss the fucking funeral, ass?
Sam, you actually came.
I know you two haven't been together for a long time, but I'm still sorry.
We hadn't been close in years, but he was my daughter's father. I'll miss him.
He was my daughter's
Joan
father.
was really hurt when you left town. Nick and I were never close after the breakup, and Joan's never had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Because Joan
Maybe
is
don't
really an
break her heart this
80-year-old
time when you
woman.
leave town. All right?
Should I say that she thinks that he was murdered? Maybe it was the Hicks.
Your daughter thinks Nick's crash doesn't make sense.
She's a little girl who lost her father. She's confused right now. Don't you go encouraging her, or worse, putting those thoughts in her head.
Oh, I'm gonna do
You
that.
knew better.
Do you think she has a point?
I think you should stay away from her.
Don't tell me how to live, Kathy. Get the fuck out. My name's Sam, and I'm wearing tight pants, and I have no bum. Ooh, a mind palace. Ooh. I wish I had a mind palace. Hey, buddy. I immediately ratted out the kid. Yeah, absolutely.
You're
I
a lot
did.
like Pac-Man, Sam.
I consume everything in my path.
You find every last bite. The mine closing wasn't your fault. Your investigation just hurried things up. You probably
He's
see
kind of
some
got an Edward Norton thing going on.
Hi, Muley.
You piece of...
language.
Is that a wedding
Oh.
ring?
I didn't know you were thinking about marriage.
Oh, it's just... It feels like the right thing to do.
Dad, what's the point of getting married?
A good point.
It's just one of those things people do, Bug. Here, you can play.
Someone has to show you grown-ups. Video games are the realm of the young.
Have you talked to Anna about this?
That's kind of the point. I'll talk to her about it when I show her the ring.
Oh boy,
You
Sam.
say so. Hey, just remember I'm here, right? If you need anything. Anything but my arcade secrets. Those I'll take to the grave.
Sorry we lost touch. Sorry I lost touch.
I know who did it.
Rest up, big guy.
This photo always looked weird. Nick could never keep a straight face.
Aha! With my lady?
Happier times.
He banged my lady, I know
Wonder
it.
who took that picture.
Bug was so small back then. We drove straight to the sea after work on a Friday. Hell of a weekend. Those two were a great team. He was more her best friend than a dad.
Looks like freaking Chucky, man. It's wild.
Those two were a great
Oops.
team.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Look at us.
Look at us!
Samuel, guess I lost the bet.
Bet?
Yeah, that bet you'd never come back to Basswood. Not after you went careening out of town like a bat out of hell the instant that article broke bad.
Who was it bet with?
Okay, I'll bite. Tell me, Dennis, who did you have a standing bet with?
Myself. So I guess I also won.
What are you even doing here, Dennis? You and Nick become friends or something?
Nope. He thought I was a drunk.
And you
which
look
I
like you
am.
are.
And I thought he was a hack, which he was.
This coming from the IT guy. Didn't know resetting passwords could give you a journalism degree.
Oh.
It can. But it does give me less patience for people who sling mud my way.
Oh. With his belt buckle. What, are you gonna shoot me?
I'm just playing.
You
At
drunk
least tell me how you
fool.
been.
You stupid idiot. Don't pretend you care. I'm just gonna be mean to everybody.
Like you'd care.
Not too much. But suit yourself if you want to be like that. Anyway, cheers to Nick. A man that, unlike us, people actually liked.
Speak for yourself, you dumb idiot.
Speaking of which...
Oh, it's my lady? Oh, shit. There she is. Oh, she's a musician. That's why he loves her. The sound.
As time draws near, my dearest dear, when you
Hey, Storm Shadow, welcome.
I must part. How little you know of the grief and woe.
Why is she singing? She totally banged my friend. 100% they were banging. Poor Chucky. Maybe that's what he wanted to tell her. He's like, listen, I've been banging your ex, and she's pregnant, and we're going to have a baby, and it's a whole... Oh, my God. The drama. The drama! Oh, the tears. Oh, she totally was banging him. Oh, my God! How dare you, Anna? How dare you betray me? I'm offended now. Anna, give it to me straight.
Should I have brought flowers? Do people expect me to?
Well, depends. Who's this shorty?
But no more than 3,000 milligrams a day.
Bess always had a soft spot for Nick. I think she liked his work ethic.
Cookie promises what you do.
Storm Shadow says, new song idea. I've been banging baby mama for the drama. I've been banging baby mama for the drama.
Anna used to play it almost every night. She stopped after her father.
I love how the amplifier in the back, it says talks as opposed to Vox. I've been banging baby mama. Okay, I should probably read this, right? Remember when Anna was learning to play guitar, getting up early to practice before work? Getting up early to practice before work? That's not what she was doing. Yeah. It's how you used to wake up listening to her plucking chord progressions before bringing her coffee. She was happy then, even if that guitar had its own history of sadness and loss even before today. You never met Anna's mom. She didn't really talk about her, but the few times she did, it was always about how she loved having music in the house. Her mom used to blah, 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 blah. And Anna lost her mother when she was a teenager, but even in the following years of grief, conflict, and escape, she held onto her mom's guitar even though she never learned to play it. Instead, she left Basswood, went to college, came back a journalist, telling stories about her own hometown. Remember the features she wrote about that old music shop on Gooseneck Hill? Anna took the assignment when no one else wanted it. Her article didn't rescue the music shop from bankruptcy, but the owner came to thank her personally. He gave her free lessons as a thank you gift, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Didn't really need to know that, but sure. Who's Tara? Oh, she's an office administrator. That's exactly what she looks like. She watches evangelical TV. She likes conspiracy. She's a QAnon supporter. Okay, great. We love that. Who's this fucking idiot? He's a minor. Okay. Joe Lopez. Declan, the useless cop. We love that. Then we got Kathy. We love her. Never forgiving me. Whatever. Don't care. The drunk IT guy. Hate him. Hate him. Okay. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Let's talk to my lady. My ex-lady.
Has it really been 2 years since I saw her? She hasn't changed a
bit. Yes, I did. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so my ex-boyfriend came over, and yada, yada, yada. I'm really tired today. What's she tired from? Obviously the yada yada.
Anna?
Sam!
Well, oh my god. Ah! Sure. Come on, you still love her? Even though she was begging your friend.
I've missed you. Why'd it take so long for you to darken my doorstep?
Whoa. It wasn't because of you.
Well, I'm here now. I'll have to try and come by more often. That's what I'm supposed to say, right? Even if not everyone around here would like it.
People around here have short tempers.
And long memories.
But most of them mean well. Sam, the mine was gonna close anyways. Maybe in a year.
Okay, what
or
is
two,
with that, like, super
5 if the
soup?
Lord
Look at
has a
them
sense of humor.
pants!
It was gonna run dry or have an even bigger
That's like
disaster.
up the crack pants.
It wasn't your fault.
Tell that to everyone else.
I wish everyone else understood that.
People are scared. Mad. You were easy to blame. When my father lost his legs, nobody knew the mine wasn't following regulations. You were the only one who started asking questions. Whenever people talk about you, he always says, you did the right thing.
Yeah, well, your dad's Joe. He's an oak. Unmoving and annoyingly supportive.
It wasn't just him. Nick thought your piece was great. He was actually jealous. He always wanted to write something that shook the pillars of heaven, as he used to put it. You know, Nick and I had moved in together.
Aha!
Started to get serious. But I think it's only now I realize how much I cared for him.
Wait, You and Nick? You were banging Nick?
Wait, you and Nick started going out? When did this happen?
A few months ago. He never told you? He asked me to let him be the one to say something. You two had been so close.
Oh.
He probably tried. I hadn't been answering his calls.
Ah. That's the worst part, right? Anything broken just stays broken now. But this was all nice. The funeral, the wake.
Maybe
Walter
she did
a
it.
good
Maybe
job.
she killed him.
But it all just makes me feel heavy. It makes my heart hurt. Like Nick's memory has been laid on top of me.
Laid
and
on
I'm
top
still
of you, huh?
Carrying him.
Yes.
Nick's death. Do you know if he had any enemies? Working on anything dangerous?
Whew. Now this is a real.
Oh no, my
This is a
schizophrenic.
wake.
I know that.
Do you? This isn't the time to be digging and pushing.
Shut up, Anna!
You always do this. You always. I get it. I just. You're still you, huh?
Yeah,
You'll always
they never change,
still be
Anna.
you, Sam. I hope you never change, but I can't handle this right now.
All right, Miss Bezos,
I'm
having a
gonna
good
go
one.
home.
Thanks for being here.
I hate that his stuff is all over my house. Then drink and cry all night. You do what you need to do. See you around.
I'm just pissing off everybody.
Samuel, come. Have a round with me.
I need a drink or two.
Or 3.
Or 3. And then I'll go.
Fuck off, you drunk.
got the mind closed.
I can't believe you showed up after what happened.
Who's saying that? I didn't get nothing closed. What you talking about?
I didn't know you read Dickens, Ethan.
Not really. You just quoted him a couple of
He's
times.
owned this bar for
it
almost a
sounded
decade and still can't afford another employee.
Then you should read Great Expectations.
Sola says she's a wreck. Love it. I love it. I love that she's a wreck. Why aren't you drinking, Sam?
It does look tempting.
Drink the frickin' beer.
So, Nick wasn't drunk, and me? I was drunk as a skunk.
Ah, Samuel. Join us.
Why does
we
he
were
call
just
me
sharing
Samuel?
stories about dear Nicholas.
Papier-mâché?
Let me get your next round.
Papier-mâché?
Maybe Ethan has a suggestion for a worthy spirit?
Oh, spirits? Oh, no. Friends drink beer.
Yes, I suppose that's fitting. To dear Nicholas.
Yeah, he'd been coming in a lot lately. Sat right there. With a bad dad joke or two.
With friends, I guess? Maybe Anna.
No, by himself with his laptop as his date.
Never drank
Uh-huh.
alone.
You two were close, though, right? Tell me about the man outside the bar.
He had a terrible memory. Couldn't remember names, dates, passwords. Kept his notes squirreled around him like a hoard.
Maybe Anna was poisoning him. Sam is on antipsychotic meds. It's a great idea for him to drink. Nothing could go wrong. Maybe he came back to his hometown in like a psychotic state and killed his friend and he doesn't remember. Or maybe his other personality did it. Could you imagine? It was his other personality that killed him.
Kathy, what's your underage child doing drinking? You have no control over her? Ethan could lose his
I wasn't
license.
doing anything.
Chucky is
Don't
mad.
touch me.
Chucky's
Down.
pissed.
Leave me alone. Ugh, you guys are all so stupid.
You do not talk to people that way.
Fuck off.
I'm sorry, everyone. She's just so...
That was quite heavy-handed. I hope the little one doesn't take it to heart.
I'll shoot her a text.
I'll send her a text. Make sure she's gonna be okay.
Are you okay? Yeah, just had to leave. Thanks for checking. Here for you. I swear, I am. Yes! Sam's gonna get sloshed. Just fucking hammered, bud. And then my other personality is gonna take over. I'm gonna go and find my ex. Yes! Got hammered! Fucking zoodled.
What a night. I'd say that went well. Ish. You got to chat with everyone you've been avoiding. Even if Joan got inside your head with her whole dad mystery death thing. Just shut up. Coming back to Basswood was your idea. You're the one in the driver's seat, Sam. I can't make you do anything.
Liar.
Deep down, you've been looking for a reason to come back. It's gonna be one of those long nights inside your head, huh?
Stop pushing me. I'll kill you.
Stop.
I'll kill that other personality.
Pushing me. Stop always poking at me. You just won't quit. I'm trying to help. And helpful tip number 602, beer doesn't solve any of this. You're back out in the world, feeling emotions, fitting in.
Okay.
That's
I think he came back to Basswood as his other personality, found out that he was sleeping with Anna, and killed him. Like, cut his brakes or something.
progress. Fuck the world. Pointless talking and more talking.
Oh my god, he's
and
so
no
edgy.
One says what they mean. Go away. Let me enjoy being miserable. Just try and make sure you don't do anything stupid. No promises.
Mm-hmm. He's all naked, like, huh? Are we gonna see Wiener? Amazing.
No.
Rendered Wiener.
Stay out.
Damn it!
Okay.
He really doesn't have a butt. Oh my god. Poor guy.
What happened last night? Oh, my head. Pills plus drinking. That was not my best idea.
I'm gonna make you do all sorts of bad
black out on
things.
what?
I can't wait.
I can't think straight. I need some water on my face. Clear it up.
Take your pills.
Oh, my head. How many of these did I take?
Wow, he's smoother than a baby's bottom.
God, what a headache. I feel like a small jackhammer in my left temple.
Drink
Please
more beer. Drink more beer. More beer.
No more beer.
No, come on, Sam. There's some snacks.
No food. I'll just throw it all up. Is that-
Sam, I'm not going to be
that's
I'm
not
going to be the other personality in this guy's head, making him do all the worst things.
That is vodka, the opposite of water.
Oh, shut up, Sam. You're no fun.
No water, of course.
Well, you're going to have to grab a cup and just drink it from the nasty tap water. Reflects a face that looks like a stranger.
I was at least hoping I'd look better than I feel.
Well.
I already feel more human. Now, where did I put my shirt?
You don't need to wear a shirt. That's fine. You could just go through life. Go through life. Oh my god, my shirt is covered in blood. Oh shoot. Okay, let's check the closet. Check the closet. Maybe I have a dead body in there. Or there's a body in this bag.
Even sober, I'd never put my shirt back in the bag.
Okay, wait. Is there a body in the bed? No, is the body underneath the bed?
Didn't even get under the covers. Glad I even made it to the bed.
Maybe he's like into cutting himself or something. And that's how I got my shirt all nasty. Wow, you walk really slow, sir. Oh, yeah, I don't know if doing that is a good idea.
That's not good. That's... Where did I get this? What did I do?
Ah! You murdered somebody. He killed that redneck guy. This is like when his other personality takes over. This is like the blackout. It's like Control. Oh my god, it's my dad! No, no, don't turn back. Oh, he's just running by himself. Oh, I'm going through the mirror. I'm doing it. Hi-ya! Oh no, oh no.
Sam.
Daddy's mad. Daddy's mad.
Focus. Find the way to calm down. Sam, focus. You have to find the right door. You need to steady yourself.
Oh, am I supposed to be doing something? Because I'm not actually paying attention.
Sam, focus. You have to find the right door. You need to steady yourself.
Oh, yeah, I guess I am supposed to pay attention. Oh. I wasn't paying attention at all. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to go through. Oh shit. Oh shit. This is gonna take a while.
Sam, focus. You have to find the right door.
Oh shit! Oh no! John says it literally looks like Control, doesn't it? I don't know. We gotta pick one here. Oh, what? Oh no! I'm being burned! No! No!
Samuel, focus. Focus on anything other than the fear.
Solus, I know you've played this game, so no backseating, please.
You're doing good. Really good. You're almost there.
I feel bad for this man and his lack of butt.
Focus. Choose. Act. Deliberately.
Door number 1. Door number 2. This is calling to me.
Get far away. Don't run. Just go. Far as fast as I can. Hide. It's never happened. Going on. If I run, I'll keep running. And you face what happened. Answers.
I still think it's... What was this one again?
Get far away.
That sounds like...
Just go.
And this one was...
Hide. It's never happened.
No. This one was...
Going on. If I run, I'll keep running. And you face what happened. Answers.
I'm gonna do this one.
Yes, answers. Good or bad, I need answers.
My skin! My skin, it burns!
I know what you're thinking. Stop thinking that. Pills and alcohol, you're lucky enough you didn't wake up dead.
Damn.
I need to know what happened last night. The last place I remember is the bar, so I'll start there. The squeaky nail gets hammered down. Maybe don't play lone wolf detective.
I'll be careful.
I'm gonna take it slow and be cautious, don't worry. Yeah, telling people not to worry always works. I can't just run from whatever this is. So either help me or get out of my head. It's your life, Sam. I just live here.
Uh-huh. Cool. Okay. Every time I see those freezers, I think I should be hiding a body in
The more
it.
things change, the more they stay the same. Do you really think breaking and entering is a good idea?
Yes, I do.
Used Ethan's hidden spare key, no breaking involved. I don't know if he'll see it that way. I could wait for the bar to open, or I could look for answers. I picked the latter.
Kind of looks like that Scottish actor. What's his name? Jeremy Renner. He's not Scottish. James McAvoy? It's a security door. Oh, lovely. Ethan's accounts.
I doubt Ethan's account somehow led to the blood on my shirt.
Yeah. True, true. It's a security door. Exotic bottle?
I remember seeing this before. A long time ago.
Uh-huh. Wait. Is he gonna be there? No. Tasty ketchup.
Whoa. What happened here last night? First, look around, figure out what happened.
Oh god, do I have to reconstruct events? Spilled glass? That was probably me.
I ended up drinking alone.
Oh.
So who brought that second glass?
I was probably drinking with the IT guy. Not sure which of these bottles was a mistake. Probably the first one. Oh, there's a baseball bat. Looks intact. Hope all drinks were paid for. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Somebody destroyed. It was me. I destroyed it.
Ugh. Did I do this?
Hey, Kels. I did it.
Sorry, Nick.
I did it. 100% I did it. Asking Anna about Nick's death was insensitive. Of course, I only realized that after the words had come out of my mouth. Still, I was going to have to ask eventually. I mean, that would totally be something I would do. Say something really insensitive and be like, I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't I? Fuck. Okay, well, I'll just not talk. Okay, we're not going to play Pac-Man. Connected to the fight. Oh, there's a baseball cap on the ground. Does that belong to somebody or? Somebody broke. I broke this clock. I know I did.
What knocked this clock off the pillar?
I must have done this as well. I see some blood. Oh, probably got into a fight with.
It might have fallen off the table.
No, I hit that
Seems
hick
some
over
people
the
got
head.
rowdy last night.
Hit that hick over the head.
These were sent scattering. Someone thrown into them?
Yeah.
Ripped. Did this happen yesterday, or was it always like that?
Oh.
It seems there was a fight. That could explain the blood on my shirt.
Well, there's
Does
blood
it
right
mean
here.
that I was involved? I
Well.
won't be able to find out without more evidence.
Okay. DG bracelet.
DG.
Dennis.
Dennis's initials. Was he involved in whatever happened?
Oh, he's a drunk. No, wait.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Was Dennis the...
The pot was completely shattered. Looked like it might have been kicked. Could be the same blood that was on my shirt.
Okay.
The flowers are ruined. Looks like they were knocked over, then stepped on.
Who steps on flowers, honestly? What does that say? If you must vomit, please something, it should not be this hard. Oh, here. If you must vomit, please find the something platter toilet. It should not be this hard. Okay, yeah, well, whatever. Ethan tried to clean up before or after the incident. Gather evidence about the attacker. Where's Dennis? Which one's Dennis? This guy? The drunk? Yeah, it's the drunk guy. Oh wait, there's some blood here. Sticky floor, dried alcohol could be from spills or a broken bottle. Oh, here's a mess. Some beer.
Definitely not the wake Nick would have wished for.
Dennis the Menace indeed. Aha!
Hugh's business card. Wonder why it's here.
Hugh Kirkland. Drink plenty of water. Great for headache. Huh.
What a mess. Hope this wasn't me.
It's bad that you don't know if it's you or not.
Definitely not the wake Nick would have wished for.
What the hell is that? Okay, so I can't... What does that... Where's the blood? I think... Let's just step all over my friend's face. Take a hold of my woman, man. Where have I not looked? Did I get everything on the stage? Am I able to look at stuff after... I don't think I looked at everything on the stage. So we looked at the blood. We looked at this. We looked at the flowers. And we looked... There's nothing else to collect, correct? Did we look at the pool cues, maybe? Anything? No. Love how it's like pointing over here. Maybe there was something I missed. Okay. Oh. Shit, I can't even go back. Sorry if I'm... Only thing that I didn't do was play Pac-Man. There's a baseball cap over there, but it won't let me... Ah, Joel's cap.
Joel's hat. Maybe we ended up having it out after all.
Oh, did I figure something out? No.
I think I've seen enough to put together the pieces of what happened last night.
I think I was...
Just gotta think it through.
How do I... Spacebar? So it is kind of like Detroit Become Human, where you have to, like, reconstruct crime scenes.
At least I can always count on this place to make sense. Gotta work out what happened while I was blacked out last night. I just need to think it through
I'm getting
logically,
a migraine, I think.
throw out impossibilities.
I'm yawning and I'm not tired.
Until only the truth is left. I know I got into
All right, John, have a good night. Thanks for coming.
Out in many different ways. I have to think it through. Find out what really happened.
Answer the question to start forming a hypothesis.
My memory ends here. But there's two glasses. Who was here with me?
Dennis, the Menace. I think it started when I was So do I have to answer this? Oops, started here.
I was drinking on my own when someone approached me. I can't remember who it was, but I know we got into a fight. Obviously. If I figure out how the fight went, I should figure out who my assailant was.
Still the assailant wrong. Where did the conflict go?
Something hit the pillar with enough force to make the clock fall. A person thrown into the pillar would do it.
Why is it not letting me? Oh. Shit. It's not letting me go through. Near the jukebox?
The jukebox is not in the same place. Maybe it was involved in the fight somehow. That could be it, but I still have to figure out who was sitting next to me.
It was Dennis. And I ended up killing him with my bare hands.
That's Dennis's. I definitely wanted to shut him up last night.
Oof! Oh, and then he died. He broke his neck and he's dead. Then I get all mad.
If the fight had ended here, the bar wouldn't be such a mess. Joel's cap. Maybe he provoked me again after I'd had a few.
This is interesting. Then his hat falls there. Is it yelling at me? Okay, well then let's try Hugh.
The pharmacist's business card. Hope I didn't start picking on the elderly.
Huh. Hold on.
Joel's cap. Maybe he provoked me. If the fight had ended here, the bar wouldn't be such a mess.
It didn't end here, it started there. Okay, well then... Oops.
Broken glass, damaged seat. It's possible the fight made its way over here. That can't be right. It doesn't match the damage done to the room.
Well then what other option is there?
Something hit the pillar with enough force to make the clock fall. A person thrown into the pillar would do it. The pharmacist's business card. Hope I didn't start picking on the elderly.
tried all three. Hold on, there must be something I'm missing because of the other area as well. It couldn't have ended there. But I'm not sure how to add that.
Well, if the fight had ended here, the bar wouldn't be such a mess.
What is that? How do I add this, though? Like, how do I reset everything? I don't think I can I?
That's Dennis's. I definitely wanted to shut him up last night. Broken glass, damaged seat.
Oops. There's no way that I can skip this? Yeah, I know. I have to include...
That can't be right.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't match the damage done to the...
Is there any way that I can restart this?
room.
What about... Oh.
Looks like
I'm dumb. I
not
didn't
even the
see that.
memorial board was spared by the brawl.
Oh, did I change the entrance part?
That can't be right. It doesn't match the damage done to the room.
So I think it was Dennis.
Something hit the pillar with enough force to make the clock fall.
And then
The person thrown
I
into
said the
pillar would do
stage,
it.
right? At the
One hell of a mess.
Was there? No. It keeps showing me that, so...
Well, if the fight had ended here, the bar wouldn't be such a mess.
I don't think it is the bar.
Looks like not even the memorial board. I have the complete picture now.
Okay, I get it. So it was Dennis, the drunk idiot, the Leahy.
You know, the man who talks to himself has an idiot for an audience.
Fuck off, Dennis.
I see why you have so many friends left in town.
Yeah, you would know about that.
At least my best friend never slept with my ex.
Oh, now you done did it.
Who do you blame more, huh? The backstabbing asshole or the bitch who...
Is he there by himself? Kill him! Kill him!
Talk about Anna or Nick that way.
You think you know who Nick was? Mr. Perfect? Give me a break. You have no idea. No one in this town does.
What are you talking about?
I'll show you. But not here. Meet me later at
Oh, come on!
Ethan is coming back in through the front. At least I think it's him. You think it's him? I can't actually tell if you can't tell. What I know for sure is if it's Ethan, he may not be happy to find you here. So I strongly
Leave discreetly.
suggest you leave. And if you don't, I don't have time to lose explaining myself to Ethan.
God, I still leg still hurts so much. Right. So that was interesting. We'll see.
Of course. I come back on the town's Miners' Day celebration. Well, you always did have great timing. No time to dwell on that. Focus. You tried Dennis's cell phone. No answer. So what now?
I killed
Ask
him.
around. See if anyone's seen Dennis today. Maybe see if anything jogs my memory. I've heard worse plans.
Got into a drunken fight with Dennis. He'd made some insinuations. Challenged me to follow him somewhere. I better find Dennis and put the puzzle pieces back together. It's likely someone in town can tell me where he is.
Basswood's small. If Dennis came through Main Street, someone saw him.
Okay, well, how about the general store? Or the drugstore? Oh, what's his name? Kathy's workplace. It's on the brink of closing.
Maybe Kathy will know something. Or that new pharmacist.
Kathy's clown. Okay.
Yo, get out the way.
Oh, boy. Out of my way.
You move. I'm the one coming in.
Fuck you.
That's enough.
Punch him out. Damn it. What kind of renegade are you, Sam?
Kathy and Hugh were both at the wake. I should talk to them.
Hey, Tara.
Oh, Sam, you here to pick up something for your condition?
I have a condition.
Yeah, the one that makes you the way you're always so... you? It's all right, of course. I
Wow.
won't tell anyone. I think I might actually have leaky gut. It's where your intestines...
Why do you
starts
always
to
talk about your
dissolve,
shit?
And your half-digested food starts to leak out in...
Why not ask the pharmacist?
And let him know I might have something like that? Ew, he's basically a stranger.
Look, have you seen Dennis?
I saw him yesterday. We exchanged pleasantries. At the wake? Oh, I saw you too. Given his condition yesterday, he might have come in here. You walloped him. Why not ask the pharmacist? I'll just check the internet when I get home. It'll tell me what to get.
Oh, God.
It was nice talking to you, Tara.
Thank you for telling me about your poop.
Was it?
Was it? Hey, Hugh. What's going on, sugar? You know, I just need a question. You to answer a question for me.
Ah, Samuel. Sorry about Richard. He's always a little on edge.
Yeah, he's on meth.
I'm surprised to see you up and about after the night you had. Honestly. I was afraid you'd end up like your friend. You were quite inebriated.
I have an impressive hangover.
Yeah, and I have quite the hangover to show for it. Not my finest hour.
I would say not. After your barroom brawl, I did my best to prevent you from following that other man outside. And I tried to get you to hand over your keys, but you would have none of it.
Whoa, shit.
Sorry about that. The man I had a fight with, Dennis. Have you seen him today?
Seen him? No. No, can't say I have.
Thanks anyways.
That article you wrote, it's done this town a lot of good.
Really?
How do you figure?
The mine was a band-aid on a torn artery. Sometimes, doing what is unpopular is still the moral choice.
You probably believe that.
I'd offer you something for that hangover, but I find in some cases, time is the best medicine.
Ain't that the truth?
A pill pusher who doesn't want to push pills. That's a new one.
Everything is poison. All that matters is the dose. Now, you have a good one, young man. Was there anything else you needed, by the way?
I'm gonna leave.
I'll stop bothering you. I need to get going anyways.
Not a bother at all. It's always a pleasure. Do come see me again.
Alrighty. Inquire about Dennis. Kathy, hey baby, listen. Let's talk about my butt.
Hey, Kathy.
Yo, Sam. What can I do you for?
Listen, I demand reparations.
Dennis hasn't come in today, has he?
Dennis? I haven't seen him since last night. Why? You looking for trouble?
Last night we got into a fight. Like a fist fight.
Really? I'm sorry I missed that. You could both use the thumping. But I left early to go check on Joan. Did you have to say that fantasy about her father being murdered was real?
That's not what I
just want her to be a little girl, not a little Sam Higgs, sneaking around and getting into trouble. And now all she can talk about is how you're gonna prove that she's right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know it's not your fault, but I just don't... I don't know what to do with her.
That's not my problem,
She's
lady.
my daughter, and I feel like I'm losing her.
Okay.
I gotta go. If the boss sees me jawing instead of working, I'll get an earful.
All right. John, like talking?
No one in here was much help.
Thanks, Kathy. Friggin' Kathy. I demand reparations. Okay, why is the door not opening? There we go. Oh, my back hurts. I have to do the crack on the old chair. Alder says maybe she's murdered him and she doesn't want you to look into it. I mean, very possible. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Hey, maybe I can get a job while I'm here. Tyler Shift. I'll just keep moving on. Who dis? Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Nicole.
Don't remember seeing you in town before. Passing by?
I'm from here.
I was born in Basswood. I was raised in Basswood, though I left for a few years.
Wait, you managed to leave and still came back?
I know.
You'd never see me again if I left.
I know.
Why don't you then?
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna take my millions of dollars and make a run for it. I can barely get by, like everyone else here. Too poor to stay, too poor to leave.
Huh. Alder says, oh, man, they had Littlest Hobo in the UK. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 da.
Back when this town wasn't just a dead horse we all keep kicking.
Isn't it flogging a dead horse? Not kicking a dead horse. Under the morrow, I'll just keep moving on. This time.
Now I've gone and made a bit of a mess.
Good job, Christina.
Oh, Sam, is that you? Dear, please, could you help an old doddering woman?
You're not doddering. Flirt with her. Do it.
You are many things, but not doddering. Plotting, maybe.
Sam.
Alder says that dog helped so many. He did.
If they're true.
What? Why am I mind palacing? I'm just gonna tidy this up.
Thank you so much. You're always such a dear.
Say,
I know.
Christina, have you...
Oh, Sam, it's been years. It really is so nice to see you again.
Yeah, likewise,
I
but...
wanted to come to the funeral yesterday, but just thinking about it, oh dear.
Now, I know you want to interrupt her, because I want to interrupt her. So eyes on me, buddy. Happy thoughts, deep breaths.
I wish I had another personality that calmed me down before I say something stupid.
Father, at such a young age. Oh, what a tragedy. I was trying to find one of those games she likes so much to cheer her up. Poor child only has Kathy now, and, well, far from me to...
Interrupt her!
Have you seen Dennis since yesterday?
Have you not learned to not interrupt people when they're talking, Sam?
Nope.
I don't have time for small talk today.
Oh!
As rude as ever. I haven't seen Dennis. You have a nice day.
It's like, yes, I am going to be a total jerk to this. Maybe I should go apologize. I'm sorry. I haven't had my coffee.
The cost. Right. So the overhead would
You seem real engrossed.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, I'm sorry, hon. Just balancing the books. Trying
Did she just
to.
totally forget the fact that I was a total asshole before? I feel bad. She seems like a nice lady.
I don't think I've been in your cafe in a while.
Almost 2.5 years. Anna kept coming in, but you stopped.
You noticed that?
I could tell you two dears weren't gonna make it. Broke my heart.
Sounds like you knew before I did.
Gotta have one eye on the customer and one eye on the books.
That's gotta
Not that
suck.
I really want to keep an eye on the books, mind you. Anyway, the past is the past. I just accepted a big business opportunity.
Oh.
Which makes tidying up my books in time extra important, even if it kills me.
Franchise deal?
Gonna light the whole place up and then collect on the insurance money?
No, but don't think I haven't considered it. Have you met Hugh Kirkland already? The new pharmacist. He's helping me with a few improvements. Angel investing. Can you believe it?
I actually can't. What did he ask for in return?
Sex!
Oh dear, I can't believe you're so cynical at your age. People in small towns do help each other. Every now and again.
Yeah, no, they don't.
That's not just something that happens on made-for-TV movies.
All right, well, I'll leave you to it.
I'll talk to you later. Good luck with your books.
Mm-hmm.
Don dang don dang. Ding 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 a ding a ding 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 ding. It's a very slow-moving game, isn't it? Hey, you. Let me talk to you.
Hey, man. Thought I knew everyone.
Is
but
that
I don't
Jonah
know you.
Hill?
He used to be a regular a few years ago.
Oh, right. You're one of those who skipped town when the mine closed down.
You could say that, yes.
Town ain't changed much since then. Same old boring Basswood. I know most people hate that, but I don't. It's quiet here. It's nice.
So quiet, there's no rush hour, I guess.
Right?
That was useless. You didn't even tell me where fucking Dennis is. Damn it. Oh, working man. Using graphs. Okay, yeah, we don't care. Books and a plant. I've lost a book by the title of The Grinding Gears. It's the sixth book in the Tardigrade Man series. Declan.
Cowboy must have lost his keys.
You mean the sheriff? A cupcake contest! Bring your most creative ideas and delicious decorations. The winner gets 3 free dozen cupcakes. Inspire us with your cupcake dreams. Wasn't that nice? Guitar lessons. From who, Anna? Cupcakes. All right. La-di-da.
No luck so far, but I should keep digging around. Someone must have seen Dennis.
Oh, so it won't let me go. Just keep moving. Let's go talk to the hobos. Oh, here's Joe. Joe, hey, Joe. That's my former girlfriend's dad, isn't it?
Joe.
Sam? You old bridge jumper, how you been? What's the calendar say?
2 years, Joe. It's been 2 years.
Too long. Heard you showed up yesterday. Boys give you trouble?
Yeah. Nothing I couldn't handle.
They might have given me a bit of a welcome back.
After the mine closed, well, it ain't easy to put food on the table. Don't let that weigh on you. No one else has lost their legs recently.
I'll be nice.
So, how have you been holding up?
Terribly. But Anna keeps me young. How'd you ever let her get away?
Well, your daughter didn't want to marry me.
You probably know better than me.
I heard all about it. Still, I always liked you. Straight shooters are a rare breed these days. I like a man that can look me in the eye and say what he means.
Yeah, why
I
weren't
noticed
you
you
at the
were at
wake?
the bar last night.
Went home after the service. Being crippled takes it out of you. Normally, I'd be rotting away in my recliner, but I like to come out, see the decorations, pay my respects to Old Iron here.
Old
This
Iron
town's
here?
been a mining town before I was born, and it'll be one after I die. It's good to get out and celebrate your roots every now and then.
I don't have the same perspective on Miners' Day that other people have.
Yeah, what's...
No, I suppose you wouldn't.
Thank you for the littlest hobo or earworm, says Alder. I know. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
You haven't seen Dennis today, have you?
I wish. Just about the only guy I could talk hockey with.
Not football?
I want to talk football. I can just grab anybody on the street. Dennis actually enjoys a man sport. But no, I haven't seen him.
All right, well.
I have places I need to be, but it's good to see you.
Just promise you won't wait 2 years before saying boo again.
I'll do my best. Joe has no idea where Dennis went. Someone must have seen him after the fight.
Who's this old geezer? Hey, old man.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Hello, young man. Of course you can ask. No promise answering.
Why do you bother cleaning the memorial?
Well, everything has to look its best for today. Especially the minor. I really didn't think it was going to happen this year. Good thing Mr. Kirkland decided to help out. And besides,
Mr.
that
Kirkland.
way people can remember with pride we used to be rednecks.
That matters to you?
It should matter to every West Virginian.
How so?
And why do you think it should matter so much?
How many West Virginians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
This doesn't sound like a history lesson.
You answer my question, I'll answer yours. So, how many West Virginians?
5.
10. 1 to hold the light bulb, 9 to rotate the ladder.
Not bad. The one I have in store is 3. 1 to replace the light bulb, 2 to complain about how the old one was better.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Just
That's
not
pretty
the
funny.
kind of funny you laugh at. So, you still want to hear the story?
I don't want to hear any story. But
I'm all ears.
This fella here is a reminder of when coal miners stood together.
Uh-huh.
You see, back 100
You see?
years ago, you'd be safer in the trenches than down in the mines. He didn't sit right with our boys. They demanded better conditions. Of course, the corporations being what
all right, Melody, have a good one. Thanks for coming.
and sent strike breakers.
The mine wars. Miners came out in force. Union men. Met the strike breakers over in Logan County.
That's right. 10,000 strong. And it all came to a head at Blair Mountain. The
Blair
miners
Mountain.
tied red bandanas around their necks for solidarity. Brotherhood. At least 100 men died in that battle. Blood spilled for what we have now.
They died for nothing. Am I going to be an asshole to this old man? I'm not going to lie, I really want to be. I should just be like, okay, have a nice day.
I'm guessing you're fond of that story, huh? A lot of respect for rednecks.
Well, things were tough, but we were a united community back then. Anyway, I'll get back to it. Gonna give her a real spit shine.
Blech.
You take care now.
Well, that was a waste of time. All right, Joe. Have a good one. Hey, Ian. So I went to the drugs place. Oh, hey. Of all the things I've lost, I've missed my mind the most.
Hey, Bug. What are you doing out here?
Hey, Muley. Waiting for my mom to get off her shift at the pharmacy. Drawing. I got a new journal after I left the old one somewhere. See?
A pterodactyl.
Did you get home okay last night?
Yeah.
Why would they name their
I bike
kid
everywhere.
Joan?
It's not like anything
would
scary
love
bad
to
happens
know.
in Basswood. At least not normally.
Chucky.
I heard you asking about my dad last night.
Well, I guess I wasn't very subtle, was I?
No, you were not. Did you find out anything about my dad?
Not yet. Not really, at least.
Let me know if you find anything. Please. I feel like I need something. It's just this town, you know? This place. It feels like I'm suffocating. I can't breathe. I can't think. I can't stand my mom. I don't like school. Well, except for science. And just
I'll be nice.
when I imagine myself in the future,
Chucky.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't see this place or these people. I'm somewhere else. Anywhere else.
I don't see myself. People.
I know it's stupid, just.
It's not stupid. If you want, you can go anywhere in the world. Have adventures, fall in love. I mean, that's what I've been told anyway.
Gross. Okay, well, that other stuff sounds okay, though. Thanks for listening.
Maybe
I got grown-up stuff I gotta do.
I've got kid stuff I gotta see about. So we're both busy.
Oh, did you see Dennis?
It's tough seeing her like this. Seems she got older by 6 years in just 2.
All right. Oh, wait. There's a drunk man. Excuse me. Hey. Was that Dennis?
Now, I can't just have you hanging around here all day like a ghost.
It's a free country.
Hey, don't give me that. People have been complaining, so don't let me see you here again.
You fascist.
What you just...
Hello?
I'm just doing my job. It's nothing personal.
Looks like you're not the only one who started off on the wrong foot today.
Sorry you had to see that. Some people you just can't reason with. Speaking of, you're still in town.
Who's that?
That person you were talking to? Who's that?
A lost soul. Vagrancy isn't a crime, but loitering and trespassing are. I try to be understanding, polite, but it's hard when no one is polite back.
It's hard.
People call you
People
pig
aren't.
or fascist just for doing your job. Then they go and do things like they face the whole town. And I'm the asshole?
Cut short.
Get under your skin.
Declan, I've got places to be.
Right. Don't need me gabbing at you all day like I was Christina or something. Woo! That girl can talk. Just remember, this town don't always respect the things you do.
Trust me, I know.
Hey, you seen Dennis?
You haven't seen Dennis today, have you?
Why are you looking for him?
Oh, I beat the shit out
I
of
wanted
him.
to apologize for last night.
I'll just stay out of his way for a day or two. I heard you messed up Dennis pretty good last night.
I did.
I'm not judging. His head's full of smoke. Takes a while to clear it out.
Why does he
I
look
don't wanna
so
keep you,
mad?
officer. Have a good day.
Keep your nose clean.
But I love cocaine. Oh, you want to talk now? Yeah, I see how it is. I see how it is. Wow, it's a really great well, I don't know where this friggin' guy is. Is this the hotel that I'm staying at? Wow. Damn. Oh, no. It's like boarded up. So I guess not. This is my car, right? I can't. He's walking so slowly. It's driving me nuts. Okay. Oh, there she is. Let's go talk to her. I don't know. And then I think we'll end stream after this. It's going to be dramatic. Hey, girl. I know you killed my friend.
Sam, I didn't think you'd actually show up.
I didn't think I would either. But hey, sometimes we surprise ourselves.
So, I hear you got in a fight after I left the wake?
I hear you got into a fight after you left the wake. He had it coming.
Honestly, if it happened again, I'd have hit him again. He was asking for it.
That does sound like Dennis.
Yeah, speaking of, you haven't seen him today, have you?
Why? Afraid your powerful blows laid him up?
So, what are you working on?
I'm working on an article on how nature does its best to reclaim the land after a strip mining operation. Why are you looking for Dennis? I can tell something has you spooked. I can always tell.
Right.
Go on. Tell her. You could honestly use a non-imaginary person to confide in. She might slow me down. Or try to involve the cops.
How can she...
She might do those things, yes. Or she might be someone who you can trust.
I don't think I can trust her. I don't trust her. Sorry.
I just want to apologize to him for what happened yesterday.
Why should I tell her anything?
Probably working at the Basswood Jungle. He's there most weekends.
Thank you. I'll check that out.
We're not gonna have coffee?
Nope.
Okay. Bye then.
Bye. Bow. Okay. Okay. I'm stopping there. I'm like so can't stop. I hope that it saves automatically. I think it did save automatically, right? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, I should have read this because I didn't understand what that was. Okay. Well, I think I should be okay. Because, yeah, because. Anyways. Oh, good. I got some achievements. Love that. Oh, interesting. Well, here we go. The laser is like right in my mouth. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you don't already follow me, please go ahead, hit the follow button, turn on notifications so you know when I go live next. I stream on Thursdays and Fridays, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will not be streaming tomorrow, though. Next week, I'm going to be doing another DJ stream on the 12th, Thursday the 12th. I've already started doing the playlist, but I will be taking some requests as well. It'll only be like a couple of hours, 2-3 hours or so of music. But yeah, it'll be to celebrate my 4 years here on Twitch. I can't believe that people have watched me for that long. That's so strange. So yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be next Thursday. There will be no stream on Friday and Saturday of next week. And as I try and navigate like a possible new schedule with the new job, like the amount of streams I will be doing is probably going to be less. But I will still obviously be doing it, but just a different schedule. So 2 ways you can support the channel. You could subscribe, which gives you just cool points at this point. If you want to join my Discord, here it is. And yeah. Or you can join my Patreon, which supports my music, but also indirectly this channel as well. So that's also an option. Thanks very much for spending some time and chatting and playing a little bit of games. And we will see you next Thursday for a little bit of music. Very excited to do that again. I hope you all show up. That would be very, very cool. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.